Wrestling. All-Star Wrestling is sanctioned by the AWA, the American Wrestling Association. All-Star Wrestling presents the top professional wrestlers from the United States, Canada, England, Germany, Australia, Mexico, Poland, Japan. The greatest professional wrestlers from throughout the world. And now to the ring for All-Star action.
All right, fans, here we go with All-Star Wrestling, the Major League of Professional Wrestling. One fall, the opening bout, introducing first, 240 pounds out of Memphis, Jimmy Dew. His opponent weighs in at 307 pounds. He stands 6'6", King Kong Brody. His manager, Sheik Adnan LKC. Your referee, Eddie Sharkey. Down to you, Rod Trongar.
Thank you very much, Ken Resnick. Hello again, everybody. All-Star Wrestling is off and running, and King Kong Brody immediately all over the 240-pounder out of Memphis, Tennessee, Jimmy Dew. For one of the few times in all the time, I think the only time in the matches in which I have observed King Kong Brody, he backed away without some form of illegal blow or a hammer on the break. But that didn't last long, and that tremendous shot to the chest may have clipped Jimmy Dew right on the jaw. Up to the top rope comes Brody. If he comes off this, it's all over. He's disqualified. Brody on the top rope. Referee Eddie Sharkey. Referee Eddie Sharkey. Now Brody comes down. On advice from his manager, Sheik Adnan LKC, Brody did not come off the top rope. Again, Jimmy Dew gets the boot right square in the face. And again, a close-up look for you at the man from Santa Fe, King Kong Brody. Brody eye gouging on Jimmy Dew. Forearm smash to Dew. Again, a close-up of King Kong Brody, one of the meanest men that professional wrestling has ever seen. Also, one of the toughest, one of the very, very strongest. He's backed off into the corner. The crowd screaming with him. Again, Jimmy Dew gets a boot to the face, and Adnan LKC looks on. The body slam to the canvas. Again, Brody to the corner. What's he gonna do? It's the knee drop right to the chest of Jimmy Dew, and that puts them away. All he has to do is touch him, and referee Eddie Sharkey could count forever. Jimmy Dew, another victim of King Kong Brody. Brody being spoken to by Sheik Adnan LKC. Brody now leaving the ring.
All right, fans, that, of course, King Kong Brody in action, but I want to bring him in right now. Stan Lane, I still can't get over it. Stan Lane and Steve Kern, his injuries have healed enough to meet Bockwinkel and Saito right here at Market Square Arena. Stan?
You know something, Ken, I've always been told that it's always darkest before the light. And for the past several weeks, the Fabulous Ones have probably had the darkest moments of their entire career. We've never been put out of action in their 3 years as a tag team together until Mr. Heenan stepped in. Mr. Heenan and his assailants, if you will. But you know something, all that's going to be taken care of now, and I feel really good about this, Ken. I'm really excited because I've been talking to the doctor. I talked to him last night. He's going to release Steve Kern. Steve and I were going to be back in force in Indianapolis. And who do we have but Mr. Saito and Mr. Bockwinkel, the very guys that right here on this very set, ladies and gentlemen, laid us out. They pile drove Steve to the concrete floor, left him laying, and left me in a pool of blood. Well, guys, you had your laugh then, but, brother, it's all going to be changed now in Indianapolis. and I can't wait. You know, the only problem I have right now, though, is one thing. It's been a problem not only in my side, but in every man's side in the AWA for a long time, and that's Mr. Bobby Heenan. He always seems to stick his 2 cents worth in. Well, I've got it taken care of this time. Promoters have let me choose who I want as an opponent for Bobby Heenan. You see, Bobby Heenan signed the contract to be a manager, but he didn't realize that he signed a contract to wrestle. And I got a man I've admired for many, many years, brother. This guy gets the job done if anybody can. I want to bring him in right now. The Crusher.
You've got to be
Bobby
kidding
Heenan.
me.
That's right.
Before your match, Heenan stepped in the ring with a Crusher.
Thank you for letting me get at that weasel bum. I've been chasing that bum for years. He's been running away from me. I'll guarantee you, he won't be there for your match with them 2 other bums. I seen what happened. He could have killed your partner. The Crusher's going to chase that weasel around the ring post, and when the Crusher catches the weasel, pop goes the weasel. We'll take care of that.
Do it.
Fans, without question, this time it appears Bobby Heenan has been outsmarted. We'll be back.
Man, oh man, what a bombshell. The Crusher to meet Bobby the Brain Heenan. And the Fabulous Ones will be together to go against Nick Bockwinkel and Mr. Saito. Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, tangles with the Sheik Adnan LKC. Larry Zbyszko to tangle with Baron Von Raschke, the Clawmaster. And Steve Regal takes on Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. Get your tickets now. Don't miss the action. Here's the places where you can buy your tickets in advance.
Fans, this bout tag team action 1 fall. Introducing first at 217 pounds out of Mexico City, Martine Escavero. And his partner at 290 pounds out of Portland, Oregon, the Iron Duke. 1 fall, your referee, Marty Miller. Their opponents out of Chicago, Illinois, 565 pounds. The Road.
Oh, the Road Warriors are doing it again. They come flying into the ring, followed by Paul Ellering, and just immediately go to hammering their opponents.
Man, oh man. Rod, I have never seen anything like this team ever.
Greg
in
Gagne
professional wrestling.
with me at ringside. You have
There's
the
a
Hawk.
suplex.
The suplex
I didn't know they knew any moves.
on Martine Escavero out of Mexico City. The Hawk takes him to the turnbuckle and almost through it. Tags in the Animal. The Animal at 275 pounds. The Hawk at 290. 565 pounds combined, the two of
Take
them.
out. Oh,
Oh, they are, talk about their own murderer's row.
no.
Out of the ring goes Escavero, just in front of us.
This precious Paul is pretty proud of this thing he's put together here, this team, the Legion of Doom. He's great at directing traffic out here.
Back into the ring.
It's,
Oh, backbreaker. Oh, wow, that'll snap you in half. And back onto the floor goes Escavero. And Paul Ellering shakes a
Taunting
newspaper
him.
in his face. And out of the ring comes the Animal. Down on the floor goes Escavero. The Animal tries to push him back into the ring.
hit him. Yelling
The
at
Iron
the Iron Duke there to take a crack at him.
Now it is the Hawk into the ring.
They've got these men just intimidated, Rod. They're scared of him.
He has Escavero just about out on his feet.
And a boy.
Now they tag off and in
Come on
comes the
now,
Iron
Iron
Duke.
Duke. Play on,
The
man.
Iron
Come
Duke
on.
fires away with right hand at the Hawk. Across the ring they come, and the Iron Duke pays the price as the Hawk fired a boot and caught him flush on the jaw. And down he comes with that boot, with that foot on the chest area of the Iron Duke. Again, the Hawk pressures him into the corner.
Wow. I can't wait to see a team get in there that can give these guys a run for their money. There's a lot of them around here
It's
I
going to
hope
have
can
to be
do it.
someone like yourself. And Jimmy Brunzell. Oh my, they just never,
Hopefully we can.
absolutely never let up.
There's that press slam, I think.
That's the
Oh, my.
Down goes
The
Escavero.
strength of these men is this man's beat. Oh, don't.
He would not pin him. He tags off and the animal comes in.
This is what really gets me hot, Roger. Now, this man has had it. He is out of it.
And there is a power body slam into the center of the canvas. An elbow smash, a cover, and they still won't pin him.
Come on, Marty. They should be disqualified for that, Rod. There's no call for this whatsoever. This
The
man
animal
had
diving head first with a forearm smash to the face of Escavero. A count of 2 and 3. And finally, they do pin Martine Escavero.
All right, fans, you just saw the Road Warriors in action, but at this time I want to bring a gentleman out, welcome him back here in the AWA, our own Brad Rheingans, one of the assistant coaches on the United States Greco-Roman team at the recently completed Olympics. The Greco-Roman team taking 4 medals, 2 golds in all. Brad, congratulations, the highest finish ever.
Well, thank you very much, Ken. Yes, it was the highest finish ever, and I want to say it was just a great performance, not only by the medal winners, but by the whole team. Everybody pulled together. They're working hard in the training camp up in Big Bear Lake. And I think what got the ball rolling was when Steve Fraser beat the defending world champion Frank Anderson from Sweden, and then everybody else just mentally, and then along with the crowd yelling USA, it was just a great highlight. Everybody got rolling. Then we had Jeff Blatnick at super heavyweight, won the gold medal, and then Jim Martinez at 149.5 got the bronze medal. Greg Gibson at 220 pounds got the silver. This is a first for the United States in Greco-Roman wrestling, and it's not going to be the last.
Now, Brad, as I understand, the whole country watched what a tremendously emotional moment it was when Jeff Blatnick won the gold medal, but more so for you, you started Jeff in Greco-Roman wrestling.
Well, I do feel a big part of Jeff's career, Ken. I don't want to stand out and take the credit for everything, because Jeff definitely came from an ultimate low a couple years back when he was diagnosed as having Hodgkin's disease. And it was a real low point, and he decided he wasn't going to accept this. He was going to train hard in a sport that he loved so much, and he did, and he conquered it. He made the Olympic team, he won the Olympic trials, and then he won the gold medal. And this is, it's just fantastic, Ken, and I know I got into it a little bit, and it's just a real big moment for him and me, myself.
All right, now, Brad, turning our thoughts back to the professional ranks, you're back in the AWA, you've been training very hard. A lot of promoters feel that you're one of the top challengers for Rick Martel's World Championship.
Well, Ken, I'd have to say at this point in my life, I'm probably in the best shape I've ever been in before, going through this altitude training in the Big Bear Lake area at 7,000 feet above sea level. And I know it's going to be a tough challenge for me. I know Rick Martel is a great athlete. He's definitely the epitome of the world champion. But I'm training hard, and I hope the promoters take this under consideration. And believe me, I'll be ready 100%.
Again, Brad, great to have you back. Congratulations once again. Fans, stay with us. We'll be back right here on All-Star Wrestling.
The 84 AMC Jeep Renault.
All right, fans, this bout one fall. Introducing first out of Bangor, Maine. He weighs in at 255 pounds. He is Woody Wilson. And his opponent out of Roanoke, Virginia, at 260 pounds, he is Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. Mr. USA, your referee, Eddie Sharkey, one fall.
Hello again, everybody. Rod Trongard along with Greg Gagne at ringside. And the call of the action here, Mr. USA. Oh, he loves the chant USA. And shakes hands with Woody Wilson.
Oh, look at the grip on him.
Oh, my, look at that body.
Oh, tremendous athlete.
2 or 3 hours a day in the gymnasium. Bench presses 600 pounds.
Look at that strength. Top wrist lock there by Wilson, and there's no way he can hold that big arm of Atlas in there. Tony looks fantastic.
Tony Atlas comes from a family of 13 children. He has worked hard to get where he is today. Now in the AWA, the indeed major league of professional wrestling. The talent, unbelievable, Greg Gagne.
Yes, it is. More and more talent, tremendous talent in here all the time. Look at the strength of this man. Right, I was talking to promoter Dennis Hogard in Milwaukee, and he said Tony Atlas was just a tremendous success there last time in a big card. People in Milwaukee love this man, and I'm sure wherever he goes, whether it be in San Francisco or Las Vegas or Salt Lake City or Denver.
Rated the top black athlete in the country, and you're seeing him in action against Woody Wilson of Bangor, Maine. Up and down goes Wilson.
He's also a favorite of Gene Reed, the fine promoter in Denver, Colorado. He likes Tony Atlas. He loves him on his cards out there.
The Rocky Mountain country, some of the most beautiful country in the world, in the mile-high city, Denver, Colorado.
One of my favorite places to wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the... Oh. You can't hurt the head of Tony Atlas. That was a headbutt he used there.
And he takes Wilson to the turnbuckle. Tony Atlas, Mr. USA, 260 pounds, Roanoke, Virginia. He buried that fist just about up to the elbow into the midsection, the solar plexus. And now what does he have in store for Woody Wilson? The head cracker. Oh!
This is a man that could give King Kong Brody or the Road Warriors
all
kind of match they're looking for. All they want. Right.
Absolutely. And right now he works that into a hammerlock, the left arm of Woody Wilson, who seeks the refuge of the rope strand. And the good, clean wrestler that he is, Mr. USA breaks the hold. Woody Wilson coming back, gouging the eyes. And apparently it's only techniques such as this that are going to get Wilson anyway. A reversal here by Tony Atlas. The jumping headbutt by Mr. USA. Look at this. Mr. USA. 255 pounds. Up in the air he goes. Down he comes. Just about driven right through the canvas. The big splash. The count is 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's all over. And what a show by Mr. USA.
What strength by that man. I mean, we saw the Road Warriors pick up and press some men. Tony Atlas pressed this man up over his head, 255 pounds, and it was all over for him.
They love him. The fans love him. Tony Atlas, Mr. USA.
All right, fans, you just saw him in action. Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. Now, after what happened last time here at Market Square Arena, he demanded a match with Sheik Adnan El-Casey. Sheik and the promoters here in town have forced the Sheik into the ring against Mr. USA.
Why in the name does he ask for me, Mr. Conradnick? I have done nothing. The man cannot beat King Kong Brody. My men demolish him one thing and for all. But you cannot do the job again as my man, Tony Atlas. So you have to ask for me. I have nothing to do with you. But they said if you don't wrestle Tony Atlas, I will not be in the AWA, right?
Exactly.
But when I get done with you, Tony Atlas, you're going to be done with wrestling completely one thing for all. And I got a good job for you. Maybe he could drive my limousine, you know. Oh. If he doesn't like to drive limousine, how about a Shushan boy?
That's totally...
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan.
Tony Atlas, Tony, come on in now. I'm certain you heard the words.
You confused about why I asked for the match with you. You said that your man King Kong Brody take care of anybody. You said your man King Kong Brody is the roughest thing in the AWA. You said that your man King Kong Brody don't need no help from nobody. Then what were you doing there, Sheik? What were you doing jumping in the ring? You knew that if you didn't help your man King Kong Brody, that he will be defeated. So if you want to get in the ring so bad with me, if you want so much of me, son, then you got all 250 pounds of me, son. Because one thing for sure, the Sheik, When you in that ring by yourself, you ain't gonna have Brody to help you. You might be there to wipe Brody in the face every time he cry or tear or something. You might be there to pick him up off the ground every time he fall down. But who's gonna help you, Sheik? Nobody. I'm gonna be there. I hope you be there on time.
Tony, I'm sorry, we're all out of time. Fans, again, I urge you, get your tickets for this tremendous card early. We'll be back.
Busloads of wrestling fans coming from Mount Comfort, Lawrence, Carmel, Tilden, and other cities in Indiana and Illinois to see the fabulous ones go up against Nick Bockwinkel and Mr. Torture, Mr. Saito in tag team action. The one and only Crusher. Yes, the Crusher against Bobby the Brain Heenan. Mr. USA, Tony Atlas takes on Sheik Adnan LKC. Larry Zbyszko versus Baron Von Raschke. Steve Regal to go up against Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. Get your tickets now. Here's where you get them. Don't miss it.
I'm aboard.
All right, fans, action continues. This bout, tag team action scheduled 2 out of 3 falls. Introducing first the team on my left at 255 pounds out of Mexico City, Mexico, Nacho Berrera. His partner at 240 pounds out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, a former Mr. Minnesota, Tom Zenk. And their opponents scheduled to be the Bobby Heenan family.
I'd like to introduce to everybody, in my opinion, which is one of the most devastating tag teams I'd like to bring in right now.
And their opponents, first of all, out of Tokyo, Japan. He weighs in at 248 pounds. Mr. Saito. His partner at 252 pounds out of Beverly Hills, California, Nick Bockwinkel. 2 out of 3 falls. Former heavyweight champion, Nick Bockwinkel.
An introduction.
And their manager, 4 times manager of the year, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Got you, Rotunda.
Well, the Samurai Warrior hat is being taken from the head of Mr. Saito by his manager, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Here is a tag team combination that may indeed be someday in against the likes of the Road Warriors. That combination, of course, former heavyweight champion of the world, Nick Bockwinkel, at 252 pounds, and Mr. Saito. Be anxious to see these and watch these two work, Greg Geiger.
Yes, it will, and I know another team that's anxious to step in with Bockwinkel and Saito, and that's the fabulous ones. You know, Rod, we've been talking about a lot of tag teams here today, for the last few weeks, in fact. But you got to remember, Rick Martel, the world's heavyweight champion, he has really got his work cut out for him.
Absolutely.
He's got a lot of people after him. He's in Japan right now, and I know he's got a match over there with Jumbo Tsuruta. If he should come back with the title, he's got people like Saito, Nick Bockwinkel, King Kong Brody, the Road Warriors, Jim Brunzell, Tony Atlas, Larry Zbyszko. I mean, the list goes on and on. Billy Robinson.
And, of course, you know, as well as anyone, the demands of being a champion.
It's going to be tough. I'm anxious to see Rick Martel when he gets back, and hopefully he has the title, and see who gets a crack at him next.
Nick Bockwinkel going to work on the left leg of Nacho Berrera, the 255-pounder out of Mexico City.
You know, this is a good comparison we have here today. We've seen the Road Warriors, and now we're seeing 2 men, Bockwinkel and Saito, who are good wrestlers, Rod, no matter what people think of them. Bockwinkel here using the Indian Deathlock, a hold that I like to use. Very wearing on your opponent, and it could force him into submission.
Very painful.
You notice Bockwinkel going for the legs, and Mr. Saito, we can't forget, uses the Scorpion leg lock for a hold that he makes a lot of opponents give up on. So maybe this is their strategy in this match.
Forearm smash by the former AWA heavyweight champion of the world, Nick Bockwinkel, to the side of the hand of Nacho Berrera. That hold has been on a long time, and now Mr. Saito has been tagged in. Marty Miller trying to extricate Nacho Berrera from the hold. He does. Nick Bockwinkel, of course, taking all the time that he possibly can. And now you have Mr. Saito trying to get Nacho Berrera wrapped up and maybe into that scorpion leg lock. He drags him to the center of the ring.
They're working very good as a team. You can watch. They stay on one hold. Bockwinkel set the presence, go for the legs. Saito stays right on it.
And keeping Nacho Berrera away from Tom Zenk so he cannot tag him in.
I'm anxious to see Zenk get in the ring, too. He's a fine young wrestler coming up, and I think he's going to be heard from in the near future.
As Bobby Heenan has said, while sitting in with me in some of these telecasts, they cut down the size of the ring. Make it about a 4-foot square ring, and all of it in their own corner.
Right.
Berrera is paying a tremendous price here.
Like I said, there's one team that wants Bockwinkel and Saito, and that's the Fabulous Ones. They don't care if they get him in a single match or a team. Here comes Zenk. Let's see what he's got to offer. That a baby.
Oh, look at that flying drop kick by Tom Zenk, the former Mr. Minnesota. Headlock and a hip lock takedown. And Bobby Heenan is beside himself. Zenk picks up the former champion. Body slams him. Oh, Bockwinkel may be in trouble. He tags off with Mr. Saito. Saito comes in, and continuing the onslaught is Tom Zenk. Oh! Oh, Zenk caught the knee right in the solar plexus. The knee of Mr. Saito. Saito now rips Zenk into the turnbuckle. Across the ring with a heel throw. All the way across.
Well, this kid looks good, and with some experience, he's going to be very, very hard to handle.
240 pounds, the big back body drop. Over he goes. Oh, the martial arts of Mr. Saito on display. And now, Bockwinkel goes to work on the body of Tom Zenk.
This is where experience comes in. He's got to get out of there right now. They've got him shook up a little bit. Saito caught him with that kick in the stomach. I'm sure knocked the wind out of him. He's showing a lot of guts here, kicking out. Come on.
What's this?
He's got Bockwinkel.
A count of two. Close call for Bockwinkel.
Drive him in your corner. That a boy.
Zenk drives Bockwinkel to the corner, and in comes Nacho Berrera, who fires away with a pair of forearm smashes. The Irish whip on the former champion, and he booms a boot.
Berrera didn't follow up on that very good.
Bockwinkel drives Berrera to the corner.
He gave Bockwinkel too much room.
Tremendous right-hand smash by the former champion. And now Mr. Saito from the second rope with a double hammer alongside the neck of Nacho Berrera. The body-to-body suplex, and down he goes. A cover by Mr. Saito, and the count of three.
That suplex is devastating.
Oh, absolutely. Nick Bockwinkel standing over Nacho Berrera. Bobby the Brain Heenan into the ring.
Wrestling fans, now available from All-Star Marketing. New t-shirts of the Fabulous Ones and the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, in addition to your favorites, the Crusher, Baron Von Raschke, the High Flyers, Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell, as well as the All the Best in 84, and here's how to order.
Send $10 to All-Star Marketing, P.O. Box 35364, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55435. Include $1.50 for postage and hand.
Ready to go for the second fall. Mr. Saito in with Nacho Berrera. Bobby Heenan taunting my broadcast colleague Greg Gagne between falls. It's tough to hold back, isn't it?
It really is, Rod. I'll tell you one team that's not going to hold back with these two, and that's the Fabulous Ones. They can't wait to get their hands on them. On Bockwinkel and Saito, I mean.
Steve Kern and Stan Lane are the Fabulous Ones. Berrera taking a tremendous shot to the chest.
He's got to take out of there, Rod. He's got to get Zenk back in there. He's been taking a beating, and that first fall took it out of him.
And now it is Nick Bockwinkel in.
he doesn't get out of there, Zenk and Berrera aren't going to have a chance. Good teams, they tag in and out quick.
Field throw by the former AWA heavyweight champion. Another. Now,
that away. Come on now, Tommy.
Tom Zenk in with Nick Bockwinkel.
Bockwinkel backed into his corner and slowed Tom up there.
Tom Zenk has also done some boxing in his day. Hooking up here with the former champion, who has the headlock and the hip lock takedown, goes quickly to a leg scissors. Now Bockwinkel does the same on Zenk, who flail kicks out. Again the takedown, again the head scissors, again the kick out. These two are just going at each other.
Beautiful, beautiful one. Zenk's quick. Boy, he's got a big frame. He's tall. He looks like about 6'1", 6'2". As you said, he was Mr. Minnesota, Mr. Twin Cities. Good body, good athletic ability. Like I said, with some experience, he's going to be someone to look forward to.
Bockwinkel rolls him over twice. Pair of 2 counts. Tremendous pressure in that headlock.
Right, he's going to give some of these veterans a lot.
He's giving Nick
Bockwinkel right now.
Yes, indeed.
And there's experience. Bockwinkel's held that championship for 8 years.
Tremendous shoulder block by Zenk. Again, back to the headlock and the hip lock takedown.
He's following up good on his holds, Rod, and that's what's important. Once you get a man shook up like he had Bockwinkel, to follow back up on it. That's where a lot of young wrestlers make their mistakes. They don't follow up on it.
Just seconds ago, you saw a very concerned Bobby Heenan in the corner of Saito and Bockwinkel. Still the headlock by Zenk. Shoulder block. Oh, and the knee to the midsection of Tommy Zenk by Nick Bockwinkel. Zenk in tremendous condition, but those blasts can take it out of you in a hurry. Saito is tagged in. Bockwinkel is suddenly occupying the time of Marty Miller, the referee, and all this time Saito going to work on Tom Zenk. Saito.
I don't know
what has he got?
Oh,
backbreaker. Cover.
Zenk kicked out on his own there. Fight, come on.
Berrera tagged in. Berrera can be rough and tough, too.
Yes, he can.
But look out! Nacho Berrera.
He gives his opponent too much room there. He gave him a turnbuckle, but he's too far away from him. And then charging in, he's just giving him too much room. He's got to tighten up there.
Saito rams the head of Berrera to the knee of Nick Bockwinkel. Oriental takedown. Bockwinkel looking on. I think Saito could have pinned him there.
He may have. He snapped Berrera's head down on that mat and got that whiplash.
Berrera in a very dangerous spot now. The corner of Heenan, Bockwinkel, and Saito. From the second rope. That's legal. The top rope, no.
Oh, pile driver coming up.
Look out. Nacho Berrera may have had the count. He has. Bockwinkel.
Well, fans, you just saw the members of the Bobby Heenan family in action, Mr. Saito and Nick Bockwinkel, and I've asked Bobby Heenan out here. Now, Bobby Heenan, a number of things I would like to ask you about. First of all, Stan Lane, as you can well imagine, has told every promoter he wants a piece of you, Saito, Bockwinkel, anyone. In addition, Rick Martel, now back from Japan, very successful title defense, still the world champion, something that seems to be eluding you and your family.
Only for the time being. As far as Mr. Martel's concerned, and I've told all the people this, a member of my family will win the world's heavyweight championship. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. Mr. Martel knows that. And very, very sure I will be stepping in the ring, strapping the belt around a member of my family. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. The belt, the championship of the world, is returning to the Bobby Heenan family. Now, as far as Stan Lane is concerned, he's laying in the corner with his head split open, crying his eyes out. His buddy, Steve Kearns, is completely flat out. He looks like the yellow line on a highway. He's unconscious, claiming nerve damage, vertebrae separation, this and that. Does Stan Lane or Steve Kearns, do they own me?
I would say no.
Right. Then why do they put their hands on me? Well, if you think you're going to do anything to Mr. Saito or myself or Bockwinkel or any member of my family, Mr. Stan Lane, you're badly mistaken. I suggest you get on the phone to Steve Kearns in the hospital where he's recuperating and explain to him to order a king-size bed because he's going to have some company very soon. And I'm talking about you, Lane. Oh, yes. You'll be able to smell the get well flowers together. You can share time reading the cards together. You can share the same food, hospital food together. You can just have a ball because that's where you're going to be. You think you're going to tear me apart, Saito, any member of my family? You're badly mistaken. Very, very simple, Mr. Lane. You're going to spend the rest of your life and the rest of your time just like Steve Kearns.
Now, why isn't Mr. Saito saying anything?
I'll tell you why Mr. Saito isn't saying anything, because he's not speaking anymore. He's going to do all his talking in the ring. And after the match is coming up, then he might have something to say. But until then, I will do all the talking.
Now, what about Nick Bockwinkel? Why isn't he coming out?
You know, you ask more questions than Joe Friday. Nick Bockwinkel's not out here talking because I told him to cool it. He's got some other business to take care of. I'm doing the talking for the family. So Martine, Wayne,
fans, stay with us. We'll be back. All right, fans, action continues. This bout, one fall. Introducing first out of Platte Lake, Minnesota. He weighs in at 252 pounds. He is Rick Renslow. And his opponent out of Robbinsdale, Minnesota, tipping the scales at 237 pounds, the sensational Curt Hennig. One fall, your referee, Eddie Sharkey.
Hello again, everybody. Rob Trongard along with Greg Gagne at ringside for the call of the action as Curt Hennig getting himself ready to face Rick Renslow. Eddie Sharkey says, let's go, and we're underway. Curt Hennig, a young man who has come a long, long way.
One of the finest young wrestlers, if not the finest young wrestler in professional wrestling today. In the next couple of years, we're going to hear a lot from him.
Of course, the Hennig name, well known for several years. Larry the Axe Hennig, father of Curt.
Top wrist lock there by Renslow.
The Platte Lake Lumberjack, Rick Renslow.
Good reversal for that hammerlock.
And a lot of pressure put on here by Curt Hennig.
Curt's got everything going for him. He's got this frame, the size, 6'2", 6'3".
Quickness.
235 pounds, quickness, strength. He's got a lot going for him, Rod.
And he's only going to get better.
He really is. He's only a couple years away from maybe the world title, and Rick Martel or whomever has it. Beautiful takedown.
An example of the quickness that Greg Gagne was talking about just seconds ago. Right there from Curt Hennig. And I think Mr. Renslow is a bit frustrated at this point in time. Look out.
Ooh. Whoa.
Fires right back. One thing about Curt Hennig, like his father, he asks no quarter and he gives none.
No, he doesn't.
Referee Eddie Sharkey checking to make sure that the shoulders of Rick Renslow are off the mat. Headlock here for Curt Hennig.
Rick's a big fan favorite in Winnipeg, Canada. The girl. The gals up there just really go for him.
Okay.
Of course, they do everywhere, but beautiful drop kick. Beautiful drop kick.
As the action goes very, very fast in that ring. A hip lock takedown again by Curt Hennig. Close up there of the young man from Robbinsdale, Minnesota. Hennig, 237 pounds, tremendously well conditioned. Something the fans, I think, be interested in knowing. Greg, when you're 100%, you're working out every day. How long do you work out each and every day?
Well, it depends on how much you're wrestling, Rod, but you usually like to get in a good hour to 2 hours with the weights. Renslow Some devastating tackles there in the turnbuckle.
Snap there.
You know, speaking of Winnipeg, I watched a match up there with Curt Hennig and Nick Bockwinkel, and he gave the champion everything he could handle, and it was in a tag team match, and he took a fall off of Nick Bockwinkel. And there aren't too many wrestlers that have done that in a long time. I'm sure we're going to hear from Bockwinkel about saying that, but that did happen.
Again, the flying drop kick by Curt Hennig. And again, Renslow hits the deck.
Looks like he's going for a suplex.
That's exactly it. Up and down goes Renslow.
He might have him right here. Oh, he kicked out.
Not quite.
This Renslow's a tough kid.
Close, but no cigar. Not at this particular moment. Renslow may be on the way. One thing Curt Hennig is going to do, he has learned this from his father, working out with your father, with you and the likes, that don't let up on the man once you got him in trouble.
No, he's not. And I shouldn't say a kid, Rick Renslow. He's a young man, and he's a tough hombre.
And he goes to work in the eyes of Curt Hennig. That stops Curt for the moment.
This Renslow's impressed me, Rod. He stays on his man.
He's strong.
You see the eyes of Curt Hennig there. Boy, he rattled him with that forearm.
Chin lock. Close to a choke. Close, but not there. Hennig trying to set him up to break out, to sit out.
Crossface on him.
And Renslow grabs a hold of that lower rope strand, and the hold is broken. Curt Hennig, Rick Renslow. Excellent match here on All-Star Wrestling. The finest wrestling in the world right here in the AWA. They don't come any better. A reversal here. And oh, what an elbow smash to the forehead.
The axe.
And there is the drop kick from the second rope.
Beautiful.
And they don't come back from that.
No way.
A count of three.
Beautiful, Curt.
Woo! The fall and the match to Curt Hennig out of Robbinsdale, Minnesota. And wow, what a finish. What a tremendous finish.
Wrestling fans, it's long overdue, but at long last, a newspaper devoted exclusively to professional wrestling. Vern Gagne's Pro Wrestling Report. Each month, such great features, including a column by the former champ himself.
Well, Ken, this is a paper I'm very, very proud of. It's about wrestling for wrestling fans. For instance, inside this great paper, Legends of the Past, such as Whatever Happened to You, Con Eric, Argentina Rocca, Hans Schmidt, and many, many more. And Ken, you're going to have a column in there.
Each month, I'll talk to one of the great stars of wrestling today in an in-depth interview and a very controversial feature. Dear Mr. Brain, your chance to write Bobby Heenan.
How do you ever get in there?
It beats me. Fans, here's how to order.
Mail $14.95 for 12 exciting issues to Vern Gagne's Pro Wrestling Report. P.O. Box 20433, Bloomington, Minnesota 55420. Mail $14.95 for 12 exciting issues to Vern Gagne's Pro Wrestling Report. P.O. Box 20433, Bloomington, Minnesota 55420.
Now, fans, you just saw Curt Hennig in action, but rather than talk to Hennig, Bobby Heenan has been demanding more time. He is so upset.
I want to talk out here, and I don't want anybody coming out here and interrupting me. This is my interview time, and I demanded more time. And I want to know who Stan Lane is to demand him and Kearns that they're going to pick my opponents. I signed on the card to wrestle here, to do Indianapolis a favor. Now they're going to pick my opponent. They're going to pick the Crusher. Well, the last time Lane and Kearns stuck their nose in my business, put a hand on me, Saito and Bockwinkel left them laying. And I'm guaranteeing it's going to happen again. But I've got to be in the corner to make sure that they get a fair shake. If I'm not in the corner,
Well, I can see what's going to happen. It's going to be free night, carte blanche for Stan Lane and Steve Kearns. If the Crusher should rack me up and put me away, the man knows nothing about wrestling, cares nothing about wrestling. He enjoys going to his old man's bar, working over a couple of guys that just wolfed down a case of suds and a couple sacks of beer nuts, and he thinks he's a big, tough man. Well, we go back a long time. And if you think you're going to put your rotten hands on me and your cigar-smoking breath and lay me up in the hospital, you are badly mistaken. Because I'm going to be in the corner of my men and watch them wipe the Market Square Arena with the carcasses of Lane and Kearns. And it's going to take more than you, Crusher, the big man that made Milwaukee famous. Well, the units went, now this is mine.
Well, fans, the minute Bobby Heenan saw the Crusher coming in.
Nobody's going to get away with what them guys did to that fabulous one. Crippled him, could have broke his neck. I seen a guy get killed with that hole right in the ring. Can imagine what could have happened to him here on the cement fall? Weasel, I'm going to pop you once and for all. I'm not going to only beat you. I'm going to cripple you. I'm going to put you in a hospital. Who knows? You may never walk again.
Fans, I'll tell you, that match between Crusher and Bobby Heenan won. I'm certain you won't want to miss. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.
Remember now, on September the 8th, the Fabulous Ones tag team combination go against Nick Bockwinkel and Mr. Torture, Mr. Saito, the Crusher, the one and only, against Bobby the Brain Heenan, Mr. USA Tony Atlas to take on the Sheik Adnan LKC, Larry Zbyszko versus Baron Von Reschke, the Clawmaster, Steve Regal up against Jumpin' Jim